Hello, everyone. I need to say something today about 3 dreams the Lord God gave me, and the message I believe that is specifically to white Christians, Caucasian Christians. First, I will explain the dreams. This is about 2 weeks ago. The first dream, and somewhat of a warning here. There was racial violence in these dreams. I have looked these up and I did not find any of this verifiable as anything that has actually happened. These were dreams that God gave me. The first dream was I was reading historical facts, little snippets like you might read in Wikipedia or something, and read a short little horrifying story that there were African American foster children, and this was in the dream. This was something that had happened in the United States. I am in the United States. African American children who had been labeled as bad kids, and I say that in quotes, kids that could not be placed anywhere anymore because they'd already been had run out of places to put them. Whatever, the system was having trouble with them, and they were placing the blame on the children. And that in this, and then again in this dream, that corrupt, evil workers then executed the children when they got tired of dealing with the problem, as they termed it, of trying to find places for these children. That was the end of the first dream. Of course, that's very disturbing. I woke up and prayed about that for quite a while, probably for about an hour. Lord, what does that mean? That's quite the disturbing dream. And when I went back to sleep, he gave me another dream, a related dream. I suppose you call it second in the series. The second dream was kind of two-part. That I was sitting down seeing a movie, a historical documentary type movie made about that, fact that I had just talked about, seen in the first dream. And then the other part was seeing an interview with a African American woman who played, the actress who played one of the workers in that office, and was actually there and had to experience that happening to the African American children and was not able to stop it. And my impression in the dream was the horrifying feeling that the little snippet, of course, that I had read in Wikipedia in the first dream was that it was so much worse and so much more horrible than I had thought, so much more terrible than anything that had been revealed or written down, which of course as history usually is. In this second dream in the movie, it was found out that this had happened many times to many children, and it had been covered up for quite a while, and there were many social workers of color, not just African American, but other non-white workers who had been threatened with their own lives, who felt very, you know, trapped, and were trying to save these children, and felt trapped in probably about 5 different ways as to, threats to their family, threats to their own safety, with a job that they thought was something that they were doing good with, And the movie actually became something I could barely finish. It was so graphic and so much more than I had thought it was. And that was the end of the second dream. And of course, now waking up, this is 2 dreams in one night, and I'm rather emotionally rattled, spiritually rattled here, thinking, Lord God, what is this? And as I said, I did look these up. These are not incidences that I can find anywhere that they have actually happened. And I have prayed about this as, what could this be? And when I finally went back to sleep, the Lord God gave me a third dream, and it was extremely short and quick. And I was just sitting on the couch, and I had my phone in my hand open to the Wikipedia article, and I had the credits rolling on the movie in front of me that had just finished. And I heard the Lord God's voice say, what are you going to do about it? And that was the end of the third dream. And as I said, these are all 3 in one night. And this was about 2 weeks ago, and I've been praying about this quite a bit since then. And as a white person, as a person of quite a lot of privilege, I am disabled, and I am, for the United States, I am rather poor. But aside from that, I have, compared to the rest of the world, I know and understand that I have an enormous amount of privilege. Just having been born in the United States, just having been born white, just having been born with, the majority of my body fully functioning, those things are an incredible blessing every single day that the Lord God has given me. And I have not ever had to experience the type of violence that people of color in my country experience on a daily basis. And this is not a political message. This is all a spiritual message. But the United States does frequently pick different targets for racial violence. It has been the Jews and the Japanese or the Irish or even the Chinese at some points in the, early 20s, 30s, 40s, of course, African American people were enslaved for a very, very long time. Any Latino peoples coming to this country are immediately slurred and told to speak English. These are common things here. And white Christians frequently just put up with it and think it's normal. And while it might be common, it is not okay with the Lord God. And it is not how He tells us to treat our fellow human beings or the fellow children of God. And as I've been praying about these dreams for the last couple weeks, I feel very specifically that the Lord God is telling people of privilege, specifically white Christians, we know violence is increasing. There has been a lot of violence against black people my entire life. Violence is increasing in the United States exponentially every day against immigrants. After 9/11, there was great violence against anyone who could possibly be perceived to be Middle Eastern. After COVID, it was anyone who was possibly Asian. Our country has a huge problem with racial violence, and we really don't want to admit it. And it is not God's plan.